What's up guys, how are you guys doing? In this video we're gonna be talking about everything that we got today, guys. Okay, so this is all about the balance adjustment they posted earlier today for season 2. And of course, look at this thing got already 38k views, guys, which is insane. So you guys probably know all this information, but I figure I give you my own take on this, and yeah, we'll see, right? But yeah, this is a bunch of things explaining about explaining the balance adjustment to characters, cards you get in the chaos mode, gears you get in the chaos mode, and also save data adjustment. Okay, so it's gonna be a lot of explanation right here. So I'll try to go through this quickly, so the video doesn't be like 1 hour and stuff, but we'll see, because there's a lot of stuff to talk about here. Okay, but yeah, let's get started. Of course, the first thing is the save data storage rule adjustment, right? For this, I'm not going to read all this. I'll go straight to this, right? So this is the main stuff they're going to talk about. Okay, so key details of the rule changes, right? They're pretty much adjusting the way save data are calculated and stuff like that. Okay, so let's get started, right? So save data value will be calculated based on additional elements acquired beyond a base save data consisting of 8 cards, made up of uniquely obtainable starting cards and epiphany cards. Next is neutral cards are calculated as a fixed value regardless of whether epiphany has been applied, which is pretty good. And then we have the divine epiphany will continue to be calculated at 20 points. So they didn't change this right here. So divine epiphany is always going to be 20 points. Okay, unchanged from before. And then we have the monster card right here, are categorized into common, rare, and legendary, which is actually pretty cool. I actually like this change right here because the point will be calculated based on the rarity. Okay, so tiers based on their effect, right? With each tier values at 20, 50, and 80. 80 being the legendary, right? So if you get the legendary monster card, it's going to be 80 points, but if you get the basic one, like the common card, it's going to be only 20, which is not bad, right? Respectively, which is pretty good. This is a really good change right here, actually. And then we have the next one, point awarded for card duplication will be changed from 0, 10, and 30 point to 0, 0, 40, right? Which is pretty good. So they moved the 10 point from here to the 30 point right here. So now it's going to be 40 point, but 0, 0 right here. So, but, pretty decent. It's a buff and a nerf at the same time, but it's pretty good as well. And then we have removing cards other than starting card does not grant points, which is actually interesting. Each removed starting card is valued at 20 points. Transforming a card is also treated as removal. So this is still going to be counting towards the 20 point, even if you didn't remove it, but you just changed a common card into a different card, right? So yeah, this is interesting. And then the last one is limits will be added to removal and duplication, which is unfortunate. This is kind of unfortunate. I'm not gonna lie, but it's okay, right? Per save data, duplication is limited to a maximum of 4 times. Yeah. So you could only get up to 4 times duplication on a card, which is unfortunate, right? But it is what it is. I don't think you need more than 4, to be honest, in most characters. So it's not bad, right? And removal is limited to a maximum of 5 times. Okay, so you could only remove cards 5 times, which is quite unfortunate. So now it will force you to specifically remove cards from the main character you guys are trying to get a build for, okay? Rather than just being able to remove every card from each character, right? In the team, right? So that's fine, because so each character, so we use 3 teams, right? Each character have 3 basic cards. Most of the time you want to remove all those basic cards. So, it's a total of 9 cards, right? But unfortunately, we can only do 5 times, right? When we come to removing cards. So it's going to be a lot more limited. But you can still remove, 1 full basic cards and then a half, right? Yeah. So, yeah. Not bad, but I don't know why they need to include a limit on the removal, which is it's kind of weird, but it is what it is, right? And then it says the purpose of these rules changes is to preserve the existence gameplay experience as much as possible while allowing players to understand save data value intuitively without complex calculation, which makes sense, right? Even after the season 2 update, system related to faint memory will continue to be refined. We remain committed to delivering a smoother and more immersive gameplay experience, right? Yeah, I believe them. Yeah, they are doing great stuff here. Now, this is the main thing right here, the balance adjustment for a lot of characters, guys. Okay, of course they mainly decide to do this because of the season 1 score challenge, where every single person was using the same team like Teresa and Cassius to basically dominate the ranking. So they decide to nerf and buff some characters. And yeah, it is what it is. Which I makes sense, right? They try to just make the game a little more specific, a little less specific. And they are trying to make it more diverse, right? When it comes to the characters you are able to use, right, in certain contents. So it's pretty good. So the main things that are getting reworked are combatant rework, combatant improvement, partner improvement, memory fragment improvement, and adjusted to selected equipment and common cards from the chaos mode, right? So now let's get to the combatant rework. I'm not gonna go through all this. I'm mainly gonna go straight to the adjustments right here, okay? Because they're just talking about they are briefly just explaining why they are nerfing it and stuff. They pretty much just targeting the Agni mechanic for Teresa mainly, and for Cassius they are pretty much limiting his ability to spam quest cards, okay? So let's just get to this, okay? So balance adjustment details, right? So this is for Teresa. So Agni effect mechanic, right? So before applies as a new debuff to the target each time Agni is inflicted. At the end of the turn, each Agni debuff deals damage and reduces stack by 1, right? But now this is actually a really good change. What it says, Agni applies by the caster is stacked as a single debuff, right, which is pretty good. So your screen will not be cluttered by a bunch of Agni stack. Instead, it's just going to be in one stack. It just tells you how many Agni you got in that one single stack right here. So it's pretty good right here. This is actually a very good change right here. It's just making it a lot more clear to see how many stacks you got on your on the enemy and stuff like that, right? So this is pretty good change. But this is the main thing right here, right? So before is each Agni debuff deals a damage and reduces its stack by 1%. Now the changes at the end of the turn, damage is dealt based on the number of Agni stacks. Then the stacks count is reduced by half, right? It's not only one, it's reduced by half, which is crazy, right? And the number of damage count increased based on the stack count. So yeah, that's a bit of a nerf right here. But it's kind of expected, to be honest. She was kind of broken. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. This is a really good change. This is somewhat of a nerf right here, okay? And then the next one is Agni continuous effect, right? Continuous effect. As a turn ends, deal fixed damage equal to 50% of the amount of Agni. On effect activation, reduce Agni by 1, right? This is the same, right? The first part is the same, but the second part right here, on effect activation, decrease Agni stacks by half. Maximum 20 stack. This is a massive nerf. They're pretty much just limiting how many stacks you can have on the enemy right here. So now you can only have 20 stacks. You can't have unlimited amount of stacks on the enemy, which is a massive nerf, to be honest. So yeah, it is what it is. I think, yeah, Teresa, she's gonna be falling down quite a bit, I think. Yeah, so this is a massive nerf right here. And then of course, instead of 1 by 1 is by half right here. So yeah, a lot more into, right? So it's gonna be interesting to see how she's gonna play out after this nerf. And then the next one, Shadow Daggers. Cost 0, attack, exhaust, damage 50% to Agni, right? This is the same, but they increase the base damage, but they nerfed the Agni amount right here. So you get to this 20 stack slower, right? So before, she used to get 2 Agnis per Shadow Daggers, but now only 1 Agni right here. But the base damage is increased, so not bad, right? Next up is Advanced Shadow Dagger. This is actually pretty good. That before it was a 1 cost card, but now it's only a 0 cost card, which is pretty good, right? But next is the previous. So before is this one, Advanced Shadow Dagger, right? Retain or Retrieve, damage 100%, 2 times 2 Agni, right? But now, even though the quest got lowered, they nerfed this stuff right here, right? So Retain Exhaust is the same, but 2 Agni, damage 50%. 10% damage amount for each Agni on the target, right? So, they nerfed the amount of Agni you get from this, but they kind of buffed the damage right here because of the 10% damage amount for each Agni on target, right? So that's pretty good. But yeah, that's that's a bit of a buff and a nerf for this one. But yeah, Teresa mainly got nerfs, to be honest. But this also not bad right here. And then we have the next one, which is one of her epiphanies right here. So unsheathed dagger, unique epiphany 4, increase the Agni. So it says it creates 2 shadow daggers, increase the Agni effect of the created shadow dagger by 3, right? But now it's still gonna create 2 shadow daggers, increase the Agni's effect of the created shadow daggers by 2. So they nerfed the amount again right here. So that's a nerf right here, which is unfortunate. And next up is her other epiphany on the shadow reload right here. So before it was cost 2, right? Attack, retain, and then 80% damage to all enemies. 2 Agni, exhaust all shadow daggers in hand, repeat equal to that number, right? So this is pretty good, right? But now the cost got lowered, right? Okay, this is actually above because they just lowered the cost, but the rest of the other stuff is the same, so pretty good right here. Yeah, so they lowered the cost, pretty good. And then we have the shadow reload unique epiphanies 2 right here. This is the other epiphany. So epiphany 1 is, it got a buff right here. Epiphany 2, it costs 1 skill and heal 100%, create 2 advanced shadow daggers, right? But now the cost went down by 1, so it's going to be 0 cost, a skill and heal 150, so they buffed the heal amount right here, but they nerfed the advanced shadow daggers amount right here. Before you could create 2, but now it's only 1, so that's a nerf right there. That's a buff in the nerf because they buffed the heal amount and they reduced the cost, but they nerf the shadow daggers right here. And then we have the third epiphany for this card right here, the shadow reload. Cost X, skill heal 100%, times X, create X shadow daggers, right? And then this one, the new one is cost X, skill, heal 100%, XX, right? So this is times X, this is the same. But then this right here, right? Create X cards, each randomly chosen to be either shadow daggers or advanced shadow daggers, right? Before it was only shadow daggers, but now you could create shadow daggers or advanced shadow daggers. So, you know, I think this is somewhat of a buff, in my opinion, because they did lower the advanced shadow daggers cost right here, right? Then they lower the cost, so it's still going to be a 0 cost, both shadow daggers and advanced shadow daggers. So this is somewhat of a buff right here, I think. So you know, not bad right here. Next up, the fourth epiphany for this card is upgrade initiation, right? When healed by a skill, create 1 shadow daggers. Now this is a big one, right? This is the main thing that makes Teresa kind of broken, right? But now, what they do with this is, so the cost is the same, but skill exhaust all shadow daggers, then create advanced shadow daggers for each exhausted. This is a massive nerf right here. Okay, this is a massive nerf right here. Yeah, now it doesn't matter if you heal her, she's not going to be generating any shadow daggers. Instead, she's going to be exhausting all shadow daggers, then she creates advanced shadow daggers for each exhausted. So yeah. This is pretty much just putting a limit on her, and there's also a nerf right here, which is quite unfortunate. Yeah, this is a massive nerf right here. Next up, which is the unique epiphany 5, cost 1 skill, exhaust, discard all cards, create shadow daggers equal to that number. But now the cost is the same skill, but the exhaust amount is 2 now. So you're gonna be able to use this card twice before it goes into the exhaust pile. So that's a buff right here. But then it says discard all cards, create shadow daggers equal to that number, right? Yeah, so this is, I'll say this is a buff, right? This is a decent buff because the same thing, right? Discard all cards, create shadow daggers equal to that number. Right, this is a buff, but yeah, this is a massive nerf right here, of course. That's a buff right here. Next up is a Vital Strike skill right here, which is a unique epiphany third specifically. So cost, before it was only, so it was a 2 cost card, attack card, and it would do 8% damage times 3, 50% Agni damage amount for 1 turn, right? But now they lowered the cost to 1, which is pretty good, right? That's a buff right there. The damage amount is the same, but it says damage times 3, 2 to 6 Agni, right? So this is a nerf. Now you're gonna be mainly using this to apply more Agnis to the enemies instead of doing damage with this, right? Because right here, before it used to do 50% damage, a 50% Agni damage amount for 1 turn, right? It used to buff the Agni damage specifically, but now it doesn't do that anymore. It just, you know, gives you more Agni stacks. So yeah. But the damage amount went up, so the base damage would be a lot more damage, I think. This might be a nerf, depending on how you see it, because say damage times 3, this is the same, right? But yeah, I think this is, I feel like this is a nerf, because yeah, having that damage increase is pretty good, right? Instead of just applying Agni here. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Next up is the last card, which is a Cursed Gouge, right? 2 Agni imprint, 2 weaken, right? So cost skill, right? The cost is the same. Activates this unit Agni applied to the target. Okay, so now she's able to proc the Agni stack on her turn instead of waiting for the enemy turn, right? With this card. So it's pretty good actually. This, I'll say this is somewhat of a buff in my opinion, all right? Because the 2 weaken and 2 Agni imprint is whatever, you know, it's not that crazy. So having this, activate this unit's Agni applies to the target is pretty good actually. All right, that's a buff I think. So yeah, that is pretty much her Teresa's buffs and nerfs. Yeah, they pretty much is targeting the Agni mechanic pretty much most of the time, right? So right here, right? With Agni now stacking as a single debuff, its stacking and consuming behavior will be adjusted to be more intuitive. This change is intended to provide clearer damage expectations based on the number of Agni stacks. Additionally, to clarify how Agni stacks are managed under the new mechanic, the maximum number of Agni stacks will be set to 20 accordingly. The Agni tooltip will be updated as shown in the table below. Alright, so yeah, this is a massive nerf. Yeah, limiting her Agni stack to 20 only is kind of crazy. I'm not going. Right? Of course, we got the shadow and advanced shadow daggers now. With a limit added to the Agni stacks, the Agni value of shadow daggers will be adjusted to prevent Teresa from reaching the stack limit too quickly and suffering a loss in expectation damage output. To compensate, the base damage amount will be increased, improving overall usability. This is, to be honest, this is not good, right? Increasing the base damage doesn't really do much, but you know it's a small buff they give her. And in addition, the effect of advanced shadow daggers, which previously saw low usage due to fill related issue, right? Of course, and because of the AP cost, because it's not zero cost, right? Will be revamped to better synergize with the update Agni mechanic, right? And then they're just explaining each mechanic, why the nerfs them and stuff like that. So we have the Unsheath Dagger right here. As the change to the reduction method increase the strategic value of Agni, one Agni, certain epiphany value of Unsheath Dagger will be adjusted accordingly. Okay. Shadow reload adjustment will also be made across the shadow reload cards, which previously serves as the core of Teresa play style and showed an overwhelmingly high epiphany peak rates. Makes sense, right? Of course, they're talking about this one right here, which is the when healed by a skill card create one shadow dagger, right? Yeah, that's kind of OP, right? So yeah. Of course, wait, this Unsheath Dagger, which is this right here, right? Yeah, this one's all right because you could create a bunch of shadow daggers with that, right? Yeah, that makes sense, right? So yeah, the value of one Agni, certain funny value of Unsheath Dagger will be adjusted accordingly. So pretty good. Okay, they just pretty much making it where the new nerf will not be too bad for Teresa, so they are kind of improving the Unsheath Dagger epiphanies as well, so it will be more effective now, or it will work well with the new debuffs. I mean the new nerfs and stuff like that, right? Yeah, I mean they lowered the Agni amount, the shadow daggers amount. It's not a big nerf, but yeah, being able to create 3 was kind of good, but now it's only 2, so it kind of makes sense, right? We got Shadow Reload. Adjustment will also be made across the Shadow Reload card, which previously served as the core of Teresa playstyle and showed an overwhelmingly high epiphany peak rates. In particular, with the usability of advanced shadow daggers significantly improved, a comprehensive effect revamp will be carried out to open up a wider range of play options that leverage these changes. Epiphany 4, which held an especially high peak rate and dominant presence in the previous meta, will be redesigned with a unique effect so that it can continue to function as a key choice under Teresa update mechanic. Through these changes, we expect Shadow Reload to remain a powerful and impactful card even after the adjustment, right? The Epiphany 4 is, I'm pretty sure this, right? Yeah, this thing was so broken, dude. This is a massive nerf they gave it. I'm not gonna lie, bro. That's a massive nerf right there. And then we got the Vital Attack. As Agni stacks have become more important, certain Epiphany option for Vital Attack will be adjusted. The cost will be reduced to improve usability, and the effect will be reworked to specialize in building Agni stacks, right? Yeah, so that is pretty much explaining every single card, pretty much, yeah. Now, Cassius, another big one right here, right? So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna skip all this, and then we're gonna go straight to the balance adjustment. Now, Cassius, he didn't get that much of a nerf, to be honest. I think it's a pretty decent change. So the first thing is the quest mechanic changes, right? When conditions are met during battle, generate a quest card as a reward. Quest card is excluded to the criteria. When conditions are met during battle, generate a quest card as a reward, right? 80 fixed healing 3 times per turn. Quest card is excluded from the criteria. Now this is just straight buff, right? They just added a healing mechanic to this card right here, or the quest cards. So it's pretty good, right? Now this is all the cards we like to spam, right? The 000, So this is the first quest card right here. So cost 0, right? Attack, exhaust, ephemeral, right? So this is the previous stuff. 40% damage for each attack card used for this turn, right? So this was one of his main cards to do a massive damage with him. So yeah, let's see what they do with him. So 40% damage, right? Plus 40% damage amount for each attack card used this turn, max 4 times. That is a massive nerf, right? They are pretty much, they put a limit to the amount of damage boost you're gonna get from this card. So now you can only have 4 stacks on this thing, which is kind of big nerf. I'm not gonna lie, just a big nerf right here. They're pretty much just trying to make him more of a support character than a sub DPS support character. So yeah, that's a massive nerf right here, unfortunately. Yeah. They limited to only 4, bro. That's crazy. Only 4 though. Yuck, man. Okay, we have the empowered 000. So cost 0, attack, exhaust, ephemeral, 50% damage for each attack card used. Same thing. They limited it to 4 only, which is unfortunate, right? Alright, plus 50% damage amount for each attack card used this turn, max 4 times, right? So yeah, that is unfortunate. And this thing doesn't have a retain on it, right? So yeah, you want to get that 4 stack in the same turn, and they use this before he ends his turn, right? So yeah, that's also another big nerf right here. Yeah, so they're pretty much nerfing his damage output right here. So yeah, unfortunate. And we have the 111. So cost 0, attack, exhaust, ephemeral, right? So ephemeral is on each of the quest cards, so I'm not gonna go through that again. But let's read the main thing, right? So 90% damage and heal 90%. This is a massive, this is a buff, a straight buff, right? The cost is the same, it's a 0 cost, but yeah, they increased the damage and healing from 90 to 150. So that's a pretty big one right here. Very good right here. Same thing right here. They increased the damage and healing from 120 to 200, right? That's a big buff as well. So yeah, that's pretty much just trying to make him more of a support and slash healer character, okay? So yeah, that's very good. So pretty good actually. I like this. Yeah, very good. Full house, cost 0, skill, exhaust, ephemeral, right? Draw 1. So this is the same, right? They still have the draw 1 stuff, but now they added decrease stress of random ally by 2, right? That's a buff right there, right? Just straight buff. Very good, all right? And then we have the strengthened full house. This is of course the strongest quest card right here, and it's added on 126, right? So it's a new effect they are adding right here. So it's another draw card right here. So it's a draw 1 before, but now it's a draw 1 and also decrease stress of random ally by 3, which is pretty good. So it's a 5 stress decrease effects right here. So very good. These 2 are buffs. Yeah, all these are buffs right here for him. Like all this right here, those are buffs. And now we have this one, which is the dice trick. Cost 2, attack, 240% damage, decrease cost by the number of completed quests, right? But now, 240% damage, reduce 1 morale for 1 turn, decrease cost of the number, decrease cost by the number of completed quests. So, I don't know, is this like reduce morale? Is this for the allies or is it for the enemy? If it's for the enemy, it's a buff, right? But if this affects allies, then it's a nerf right here. So yeah, I want to see how this works. They didn't really specify where this is going, right? If it's on the enemy, it's just a buff right here, right? Same thing right here. Yeah, they added reduce 1 morale for 1 turn, right? The rest of the effects is the same, right? 360 damage, decrease costs, yeah, complete cost, right? That's the same thing here, right? They added this thing right here, which is reduce 1 morale for 1 turn, but the effect is the same, right? 300% damage to all enemies, 300% damage to all enemies, right? Decrease cost, yeah. And then we have this one right here, which is the dice trick unique Epiphany 3. So 80% damage, 80% damage amount for each completed quests, but now it's limited. All right, before it used to be unlimited amount of damage stacks right here, but now it's only limited, right, to 5 only, which is a nerf right here. Yeah, that's a big of a nerf. That's a big nerf as well. Damn. Yeah, they really don't want him to be doing damage, bro. That's crazy. Okay, all right. We have Epiphany 4 right here, which is cost 2. It's an upgrade skill, right? When using quest card, heal 100% and 115 damage to a random enemy, right? And now it's a unique card, so you are not gonna be able to duplicate this pretty much, right? Because it's a unique card now, which is unfortunate, right? Yeah, that's a nerf right here, and this is also a massive nerf as well. Yeah, this was one of the main Epiphany everyone was going after, because when quest completed, create 1 quest card. This was amazing, but now it's a unique card, so we are not going to be able to duplicate this, unfortunately. So yeah, big nerf right here, and big nerf to his damage, pretty much, right? So it's not a big of, it's not as much as, it's not as bad as Turista Nerfs, but this is unfortunate right here. This is a massive nerf right here, of course, right? They changed it into a unique card, unfortunately. Yeah, it is what it is. Of course, the quest mechanism, now they are explaining why they did what they did, right? So yeah, you guys can go over this right here. Of course, the dice trick card adjustments will also be made across dice trick cards, which have shown overwhelmingly high epiphany peak rate due to strong synergy with Cassius' existing playstyle. Makes sense. While some epiphanies functioned as dominant choices due to excessively high efficiency, the base versions and certain epiphanies have shown limited usability, of course. With this adjustment, new effects will be added across the card set to improve overall feels, and select epiphany effects will be tuned to align with the revised quest mechanic, right? Cassius is a combatant designed around the enjoyment of improvisational decision making and quest completion. Through these changes, we aim to ensure that his signature control-focused gameplay can shine across a wider range of build and team composition without being overly skewed toward a single dominant synergy, right? Dominant strategy. I mean, yeah, my bad, guys. We also recognize that this adjustment may alter the experience and value of Savedata that many of you carefully build, which may feel disappointing or discouraging. The development team takes this concern very seriously. As compensation for Savedata changes resulting from the balance adjustment, these 3 copies of the new item, Flash of Possibility. What is this? Oh, interesting. Okay, will be distributed to all players alongside the season 2 update. What is this? Is this a memo, the editing tool thingy they added? So this is what it looks like, right? What is this? So Flash of Possibility is a consumable currency used on completed save data. It allows you to designate a card that can receive a unique epiphany and directly select and apply the desired unique epiphany. Oh, that's actually really good. Whoa, yo, that's good. So this is the editing brush thing they mentioned last time, right? The editing like item thing, right? The save data editing tool. And if the selected card already has a divine epiphany, you can choose one of the unique epiphanies with the divine epiphany applied. However, if certain divine epiphanies cannot be granted due to the card's type or cost, the available options will be displayed with the divine epiphany removed. Through this feature, we aim to support a strategic reconfiguration of existing save data to better align with the revised specification. Starting with the rewards from the balance patch, Flash of Possibilities will also become available as an in-game reward going forward. Through this, we plan to gradually reduce chaos-related fatigue that can arise during the unique epiphany selection process. In addition, for Teresa and Cassius, who are subjected to these changes, protos who no longer wish to continue developing or using them under the update specification can use the in-game gross restate feature to reclaim the gross material invested in their levels and potential. Okay, so we'll be able to reset their build right here. So you see that the reset feature right here. You click that and you get all the resources you used to get them to like level 60 and stuff like that. So that's pretty good. Yeah, so pretty good. I think for Cassius, I'm glad they didn't change one of his effects, which is let me just check. 1 second, guys. Hold up. There was one card that I really like, which is the straight, right? The straight quest card, right? That one was really good, right? Because it allows you for 1 turn 2 morals, resolve, and fortitude, right? It gives you all that, and that's the main thing you guys should be using, right? The straight quest card in order to progress through the spiral game mode right here, right? The new spiral. I forgot the name, bro. Let me just check 1 second, guys. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, the Spiral Tower of Screams, right? So in order to progress through that stage a bit easier, guys, definitely Cassius with a straight quest card is kind of crucial, to be honest, because he reduces the amount of damage you take. So I'm glad they didn't change that card. I'm not gonna lie, right? I'm very glad they didn't change that, because that's the strat I'm using as well. So yeah, definitely try to use that strat as well for your runs and stuff like that. If you guys are stuck on certain stages like floor 60 and stuff like that, right? But yeah, very good. Of course, see, when you reset them, you get all the material right here. Pretty good, right? Now, we got the combatant improvement, right? Secondly, we'll cover improvement to select combatant. Now, we're just going to go through the change, right? So, they are adjusting counter attacks right here. So, conditional damage amount dealt when an attack is fully blocked by a shield will be increased. Very good, right? When it comes to countering, so if the attack is blocked by a shield, you will do more damage with counter attack. So pretty good. And now we are also getting something like Nia, right? Nia is also getting adjusted. So her disable effect, right? Healing equal to the number of stacks will be added to the default effect. That's very good. Right, she's gonna be able to heal a lot more now. We got elasticity, which is one of her other effects. The stack limit will be increased, and the effect will now trigger based on the number of stacks. Very good, right? We got the G chord skill right here. We have the distilled gain effect will be increased as well, right? From this, of course, getting more disable stacks is always good for Nia because that's our core kit. Utilizing this disable stacks right here. So yeah, and we have the soul rip. I'm pretty sure this is her ultimate, right? On effect that grant elasticity will be added. So elasticity, which is this right here, the stack limit will be increased, and the effect will now trigger based on the number of stacks. So yeah. So her soul rip will give her the elasticity effect as well. So very good. That's a buff, pretty much. I'm pretty sure this is all a buff right here for her. Very good. And the Re is also getting another buff right here, which is so basic card's potential effect snack time, right? So they are buffing snack time and also the basic card potential effect right here. So the critical chance increased effect will be changed to damage based healing effect. Oh, I don't know. Is this a nerf? I feel like it's a nerf, right? Because getting the critical chance increase was very good, but now it's only healing, which is interesting, right? Damage-based healing effect. So that's somewhat of a nerf right here, unfortunately. And then snack time healing capability will be increased. That's a buff right here. Very good. Snack time is one of our main cards, so this is good actually. And now we have Orlia. Okay, Orlia, she definitely needed a buff because especially with the addition of Narja, bro. Yeah, Orlia, like nobody uses Orlia nowadays, bro. It's kind of sad, I'm not gonna lie, right? So base card composition, right? So the base card composition will be changed from 2 basic attack cards and 1 basic skill cards to 1 basic cards and 2 basic skill cards. Interesting. Okay, I'll say that's a buff, right? All right. So the base card composition will be changed from 2 basic attack cards and 1 basic skill cards to 1 basic attack cards and 2 basic skill cards. Okay, I feel like that's a buff, right? Basic card's potential effect, okay, another one. The chance to generate creation will be increased. That's a buff right there. Very good. Creation, the effect values of creation will be increased. That's a buff as well. Very good. Growth acceleration, healing will be increased. That's a buff right there. And the Wheel of Light, reduced cost by 1. That's also a buff. Very good. Okay. Okay, I like this. I like this actually. Okay, now we have Arrow. I hope they don't nerf her, bro. So her Anchor Shot, which is her main damage source right here, damage amount will be increased. W's. She getting a buff, bro. Let's go, man. Very good. And then we have the lift anchor. The cost of anchor shot will no longer increase. Very good. Yo, that's a massive buff. Yo, okay. Because usually, like when you use lift anchor, the anchor shot before it used to cost 2, but if you use this, the cost will go up to 3 cost, which was a kind of annoying, right? That's a massive buff right here. Let's go, man. Fine. I mean, I do like using Haro, I'm not gonna lie, right? So having this is very, very useful, I'm not gonna lie, right? The cost of anchor shot will no longer increase. Very good. And the Yuki, okay. So Yuki, this is a Yuki buff we were talking about. Let's see. So Flash Slash, which is damage amount will increase. That's a buff. Nice. Trickery Strike, damage amount will increase. Yeah, damage amount will be increased. A single target damage focused effect will be added to low peak rate epiphanies. Yeah, so this is the Yuki buff they mentioned, right? So this is a buff right here. And the Freezing Blade, right? Damage amount will increase. Yes, this is a W buff right here. Nice. I mean, Yuki doesn't really need a buff right now because she's actually kind of broken, I'm not gonna lie, especially for AoE content. But this is massive right here, massive W's right here. And now Chizuru, okay, I feel like they're gonna nerf her Shadow of the Moon cards right here because, bro, if you guys don't know, Chizuru can do up to 1 million freaking damage, guys, if you guys have a bunch of stock on this thing. So they might nerf that, we'll see, right? So we got the Karmic Flash, right? Karmic Flames, right? The effect triggered when used on target inflicted with Curse Shackles will be enhanced. The cost of certain infinities will be reduced. Very good. So that's a buff right here. Nice, nice. Inhibit, right? It will become possible to gain AP through the use. Wait, it will be possible to gain AP through the user's own card and continuous effect. That's W's. Nice. That's a buff right here. We got bound at desk. In its base state, the cost of 2 cards will be reduced. Very good. That's amazing, actually. That's also another buff right here. Okay, we have the Oni Hunt, which is one of her base skills. Damage amount increase effect will be enhanced, and usability of low peak rate epiphanies will be improved. Nice. That's a buff right there. I'll take it, bro. And then we have the Shadow of the Moon and Shadow of the Moon Plus. These are her main damage source right here. They're increasing the damage, bro. Holy shit. Okay. All right. I respect it, bro. So damage amount will be increased. Okay. I'll take it, bro. I'll take it. And the Shadow of the Moon card of the same pile will now stack even when they are in the graveyard or draw pile. Wait, that's actually W's. Yo, they're actually buffing it, bro. Okay, I'll take it. Yeah, I do love using Chizuru. She's one of my favorite characters. So this is amazing right here. And then we have the Moonlight of High Tide. Damage amount will be good. Yeah, this is just a buff right here. Amazing. I'll take it, bro. And the Calliope. Okay. So Calliope upward slash, damage amount of upward slash when its potential is not applied will be increased. Okay, very good. I'm guessing with the potential applied, the damage will be the same, but without the potential applied, it's still gonna be it's gonna be a good buff right here. So very good. And the Vulture eject. Vulture ejection. Both damage amount and the shield gain of certain infinities will be increased. W's. Okay. Overpowered shield gain will be increased. Amazing, right? So amazing buffs right here. The only nerf I've seen so far is probably what's her name? Re right here with the healing capability. No, not this one. This is right here. They nerfed this unfortunately. But everyone else is getting a buff, which is amazing. Okay, Magna is also getting a buff. Okay, so Glacial Ice Fist. This is one of her main skills. So damage amount will be increased. Very good. And Ice Wall. This is also another main skill for her. Shield gain will be increased. Makes sense. Amazing, right? W buffs right here. Hugo is getting a buff or what? What is this? So Hunting Instinct on initiation effect will be added to selected epiphanies. That is amazing. Yo, okay. I think that's probably one of the best buffs you guys can give for Hugo, bro. I'm pretty sure Hunting Instinct. Let me see. Hold up. Yeah, this is the main skill. You guys, everyone like to duplicate, right? So having this initiation is amazing because you'll be able to use those upgrades right away at the turn start. So this is a massive buff actually. That's amazing. Beautiful buff right here. I'll take it. Okay. Before it didn't have any of that. I think. Yeah, that's amazing actually. Okay, I'll take it, bro. Okay, we have Rain, of course. Adjustment target, right? So Rain is also getting a buff. I'm guessing, right? So Dark Mist, Sacred Alt Destruction, right? Okay, adds again Dark Mist stance effect to certain infinities. Okay, very good. The condition for Dark Mist Blade Art will be removed from certain infinities. Okay, I don't know. Maybe that might be a nerf or a buff, depending on how they gonna do this, right? I'm guessing it's a buff, hopefully. But if it's a nerf, it's kind of unfortunate because the Rain doesn't really need a nerf. So yeah, we'll see how this works right here. Next up, we have the Dark Mist Inner Art. One of her base damaging skill right here. Damage amount increased effect will be increased as well. Very good. W buff right there. And the Dark Mist Sacred Alt Black Dance. This is also another amazing card for her. Increased critical hit count, right? I mean card hit count. That's massive. Let's go, man. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, now we have partner improvement, right? So these are mostly just buffs. Very good buffs actually. Next up we have the partner improvement. So Astoria, right? Light of Arc, right? Cost 2, 20% damage amount of the next attack card used by the assigned component for the total cost of all cards in the hand. Holy shit, dude. They buffed this by 20%? 40%. That's a straight buff right here. That is insane actually. Okay, I'll take it. Beautiful. And Clue Spotter, right? Clue Spotter, I just did target. Okay, cost 3. Move 1 card from hand to draw pile. Draw 1 assigned combatant cards, right? And the cost 2. Move 1 card from hand to draw pile. Draw 2 assigned combatant cards. That is beautiful buff. Holy shit. Okay, that's actually amazing. So they lower the cost and they increase the draw amounts right here. Oh, beautiful. Which partner is that actually? Hold up. I need to check 1 second, guys. Who's this Clue Spotter person? I think it was. Of course, Asteria is Haru's partner, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, this is Haru's partner right here. She getting buffed right here. Oh, it's a waste of my code. Oh, right. This is I forgot. This is Yuki's partner right here. Okay, so that's amazing, beautiful right here. Yeah, this is a massive buff for Yuki. I'm not gonna lie, right? Beautiful. Okay, and then we got Itsuki. If I'm not mistaken, that is Chizuru's partner, right? So yeah, we got Moonlight Leisure, right? Cost 4, deal 200% damage to all enemies. Fierce Wind, right? Cost, beautiful, amazing, right? So they lowered the cost. This is a straight buff right here, amazing, right? And then we have the memory fragment adjustments right here. So this is gonna be quite important as well. So we got our buff inhibition. All right, let me just check which one is that. That is, I think that one is the. Hold on, let me just check 1 second, guys. I didn't think I need to check all this, but okay. So it's a Foresight. We got Judgment Flames. Nope. I think it was one of the. What is this one? No. Sorry, guys. I just need to check which one that is actually. I'm not sure. I don't memorize all the memory fragments on this right here. Spark of Passion. Nope. Okay. You know what? It's fine. We're gonna look at this. Okay. So when hitting 2 times with one attack card, plus 10 damage amount to void cards for 1 turn. Oh, this is a void set? No, it's not a void set, right? I think it's the new void set that came out with Chizuru, right? Yeah, or both. Yeah, it is, right? It is okay. So when hitting 2 times with one attack card, 10% damage amount to void cards for 1 turn. 2 turns per turn. That's very good. But now it's 30% damage amount to void cards that hit 2 or more times. Wait, that's actually beautiful. Wait, that's actually, I think that's a buff, right? When hitting 2 times with one attack card, 10% damage amount to void cards for 1 turn. 2 times per turn. Wait, so there's no limit on this thing, right? Before it was only 2 times per turn, but now it's only 30% damage amount to void cards that hit 2 or more times. Wait, that's broken. Yo, that's beautiful. This is a set I'm using on Chizuru, so I think Chizuru going to be popping the freak off, guys. This is amazing right here. Yeah, 30% damage is massive. Okay, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, right? So when there are 4 or more cards in hand, increase damage amount of instinct cards. Of course, this is if I'm not mistaken, this is an instinct card. That is a basic instinct card. So let me just double check. If I'm not mistaken, it should be the one, right? No, Judgment Flame. It's not the one. No. Sorry, guys. I didn't think I need to check all this. So, boom. Nope. Cursed. There's this one right here. The basic instinct. Like what do you call it, gear, right? So when there are 4 or more cards in hand, increase damage amount of instinct cards by 20%. Okay, so they lowered the card amount to 3, so that's a buff right here. Beautiful. When an upgrade card is used, a Spark of Passion. This is I'm pretty sure this is a set for the passion characters, right? So when an upgrade card is used, increase damage amount of the next 5 passion card used by 20%. I'm pretty sure this is a set I'm running on Mailin, so this is quite useful. When an upgrade card is used, increase damage amount of a passion card by 20%. Beautiful. That's actually a great buff right here. Because this is just straight up 20% damage. Before, there used to be a limit, right? This damage increase only affects the 5 passion card used, right? But now it will affect any passion cards. So this is broken, actually. Beautiful. Yeah, I really like this too right here. That's a massive update right here. Beautiful. Okay. And now we have, of course, equipment and common cards adjustment from the chaos mode, right? So we have the brainwave blocking helmet. When you draw a card via an ability, gain a fixed shield 40%. But here, when you draw a card via an ability, gain a fixed shield 40% 5 times per turn. That's very good, right? Before, this used to be only 1 times, but now you could get shields 5 times per turn, which is really good, right? So yeah, you can stack that up. That's very good, actually. Okay, so if you are using somebody that draw a lot of ability, like Yuki and stuff like that, that's quite useful, right? Okay, I think that's a buff, right? That's a decent buff right here. We got Psionic Combat Suit. On card exhaust, gain fixed shield 30%. On card exhaust, gain fixed shield 30%. 5 times per turn. Yeah, this card, this thing, I usually use it on what's her name, Serenia, because she exhausts a lot of cards, so this is really good. And you could also use it on like Charon, because Charon also do that, right? So yeah, This is actually a pretty good buff right here. Yeah, I like it. Very good. Okay. And then we got another one right here, which I just target, right? Wonder of the Void. Cost 0, skill for 1 turn, target action count does not decrease. So this is the cards you get through the chaos mode. So this was one of the best cards you guys can get actually. But now it will have cost 0, skill exhaust. So it will exhaust now, which is unfortunate, right? For 1 turn, target action count does not decrease. Okay, so they added exhaust, so you can only use it once and then it would disappear pretty much. Okay, we got tactical action, so that's a nerf, right? This is a nerf right here. Cost 1 upgrade initiation, increase damage amount to target granted shield by 15%. Right? Cost 1 upgrade initiation, that's the same. Okay, so the thing went up from 15 to 25, and you could only max 1 times, right? Okay. Yeah, so increase damage amount to target granted shield by 25. Okay. Very good. That's somewhat of a buff, I think, right? Cost 1 skill retrieve that deals 2 impairing to all enemies. Impairing, of course, this is to affect shielding enemies, so this is pretty good. Acid gas, right? And it will, the cost is 1, right? Okay, the cost went down. Very good. And retrieve and exhaust. Okay, so this also, I think it's a nerf, right? But they buffed the imprint amount right here, so it's a buff in the nerf, right? Both, right? Because the exhaust is unfortunate. Okay, interesting. Wait, that doesn't make sense though. So it does have retrieve, but it also have exhaust. So if you use it, it will just disappear. I guess it will disappear after getting the retrieve effect, and then it will disappear afterward, right? Okay, interesting. And we got rally. This is I do like this card as well. Cost 0, skill haste, draw 1, increase action count of all enemies by 3. This was really good, man. This, but they nerfed it, unfortunately. Damn, man, that sucks. But you could use it twice before it goes into the exhaust pile, so that's interesting. But they didn't do much with it, right? Right, the draw is the same, right? The action count is the same, the cost is the same, but they nerfed this by adding the exhaust right here. Yeah, because yeah, this thing is really broken, right? This thing is very broken. If card you guys can get right here, okay. And then we have a bunch of this. You guys can't go through this. Okay, I'll post the patch notes right here so you guys can go through this yourself, because this is talking about all the gears pretty much. You can get through the chaos mode right here. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff right here. So you guys can go over them by yourself and yeah, figure out, right? We got the adjustment target, spirit Kefox. What is this? The Spirit K-Fox. Okay, exhaust from the draw pile, choose 1 card to draw, duplicate that card 1 time into hand. Oh yeah, I know this one. This is one of the most cards you guys can get from one fight right here. Yeah, this thing is absolutely broken, by the way. This is broken, absolutely broken, right? So yeah, from the draw pile, choose 1 card to draw, duplicate that card 1 time into hand, right? This is disgusting, right? But now, exhaust from the draw pile, choose 1 card to draw, apply a retrieve to that card. Ooh, I feel like that's a nerf, right? I feel like that's a nerf. I mean, depending on what card you guys put this on, it might be a buff, right? Because having a retrieve is quite useful, because you guys can just, as soon as you use it, it will just come back to your hand and you can use it again and stuff like that. But having this duplicate effect is kind of broken, right? So this is a buff and a nerf depending on how you guys use this card right here. Yeah, okay, interesting. Okay, and that's pretty much it, man. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. Of course, Teresa got a massive nerf to her Agni stuff. Cassius got a massive nerf to his damage, unfortunately. But the rest of the adjustments, like Magna, Calipe, and stuff like that, they got amazing buffs. So yeah, I think it's a great patch note right here. Let me know what you guys think about this. And yeah, this was beautiful. Yeah, WDFs, man, WDFs. But yeah, it's unfortunate that Teresa got hit hard by the nerfs, man. I'm not gonna lie, right? But it kind of makes sense, right? But yeah, that's it for the video, man. Let me know what you think about this, and of course, don't forget to like and subscribe, and bye bye.